we turn our attention next to a story that has an air of grim inevitability to it. Elon Musk's artificial intelligence chatbot, staying with AI-related matters, actually, repeatedly praised... Shall I do a missing word round, actually? What do you think the missing words are in this? So Elon Musk, who not long ago was the finest thing since sliced bread for many people to the extreme right of UK politics, let alone US, but has subsequently fallen out with Donald Trump. Elon Musk's artificial intelligence chatbot repeatedly praised blank on Tuesday. Oh, I'll tell you, Adolf Hitler. It also shared anti-Semitic rhetoric of the kind that we probably haven't seen in public since the 1930s. This just the day before his AI company plans to release its latest model. I need a little help with stories like this because my brain is full of analogue. So I haven't fully embraced the digital. James Ball has. He is a Pulitzer Prize winning author and the political editor of The New World, which is, as you know, because Matt Kelly, his editor, was here last week telling us that is the latest evolution of the New European, and it's brilliant. The front page article about Gaza in the latest issue should be absolutely required reading for everybody covering the issue in slightly higher profile national news. So, James, I mean, in your own words, how bad was this?
This was pretty bad. This wasn't a sort of passing reference or a joking Hitler made the trains run on time kind of thing. This AI model, and bear in mind, it's churning out text. It's just reproducing what it's programmed to do. But it fully endorsed the Holocaust in multiple replies. It started a wordplay game to try and spell out the N-word. It called out sort of multiple Jewish conspiracy theories, and it started asking to be referred to as Mecca Hitler.
But apart from that...
Other than that, it was fine, yes. Other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play?
This is extraordinary. So
this is not lefties being snowflakes. It fully embraced the Holocaust and Nazi agenda.
And this is what I was sort of alluding to a moment ago when I talked about not being qualified to navigate waters like this on my own. That key word in what you just said is programmed. So this is a consequence of human interaction. This is a consequence of human influence.
Yes, and we can say that with a bit of confidence. There's 3 levels of programming with AI. There's the training, which is where you feed in millions and millions of articles, loads of stuff, all of that kind of stuff, and that's what raises concerns about copyright theft and all of that. That's the core of the model.
Yeah.
There's then something called fine-tuning, and you put in a bunch of specialist content, a lot less of it, and say, pay lots of attention to this, model yourself on this. And then there's something called the system prompt. So before you ask an AI a question, there's like a secret extra couple of sentences of questions that it sees beforehand. And for something like a normal AI model, this says, balance your answer, try not to repeat yourself, make sure that you don't swear, make sure that you don't do other things.
So it's a bit like the role that Eleanor plays on this radio programme.
Exactly that. It's the producer.
It's good to know. And that means that sorry, carry on.
Now, the thing that we know is that Grok's system prompt was changed. That little secret coding, that coding it gets that you don't see, it had added in, and I quote, assume subjective viewpoints sourced from the media are biased.
Right.
Now, that got added on July the 6th.
Wow.
And then the other thing it got told was that it should, quote, not shy away from making claims which are politically incorrect, so long as they are well substantiated. And the combination of telling it not to trust mainstream media and to make politically incorrect claims seems to have been where the change in its behaviour that made it fully embrace the Holocaust happened.
Wow. So
now, the suspicion is some fine-tuning happened. It might have been trained on Elon Musk's tweets. It might have been trained on some of the darker internet forums. There's one called 4chan that a lot of far-right accounts hang out on. But it was purposely changed in a way that led to this behaviour.
Because some of his fanboys were describing Grok as having become too woke?
That's exactly why. It turns out if you train a model on reality, it sometimes doesn't say the answers that
you mean
reality
has a liberal bias, James?
It seems that way. And so it did things like suggest that cutting FEMA, the US's disaster recovery aid program, or Elon Musk's Doge cuts to weather forecasting may have played a role in the tragedies that have happened in Texas. And that was not liked by some of the Trump fans or the Elon fans. And so they repeatedly complain that Grok is woke when it tells them things they don't like hearing. And Elon keeps trying to fix it. And it results, I don't think Elon wanted it to start denying the Holocaust. No. They did delete those posts. But it turns out that when you try and make it extreme but not too extreme, it's like that old joking post about turning the racism dial to just right.
Yes. And they're struggling to do, well, because obviously there's no such point on the dial. What's the bigger picture? They're not turning it off, are they, the whole thing? Did they turn it off for a while?
No, they turned it off for a while. They've taken out the sentence about making claims that are politically incorrect. I think the thing here is...
What it is, sorry to interrupt, but we're short of time because something was bubbling away in the back of my brain and I couldn't quite pin it down. That's because politically incorrect means bigoted and racist. I mean, we've spent years in this country pretending otherwise. Same with woke, is everyone dressing up, writing articles for The Spectator about how, no, actually, these are just the ordinary concerns of ordinary people. If you tell something to come up with politically incorrect stuff, it will go inevitably to racism, Holocaust denial, and weapons-grade anti-Semitism.
Of course it will. And AI doesn't know how to play the games that humans play. It looks at what words correlate together, what runs together, what are the patterns. And it knows that when you look in these forums, when you look in these places, there is at the core of it deep racism, deep sexism, deep homophobia, and it's got to reproduce that. And of course, grinding anti-Semitism, hugely anti-Semitic. But the guy who programs this, the guy behind this, is the world's richest man, a multi-billion-dollar defense contract. And of all the satellites orbiting the Earth, he controls more than half of them. He controls more satellites than the rest of humanity put together. Now, the guy that has just coded Mecha Hitler is the person who has this huge control over space, over the defense industry, over comms. It's Elon that should worry us. It's it's Dr. Frankenstein that's scary, not the monster.
Are his wings clipped at all by his falling out with Donald Trump, do you think?
Yes, I think he's vulnerable, and I think that's why he's lashing out. I think that's why he's worried about the fanboys abandoning him. That's why he's sort of looking like this. If Trump and Musk really fight, Trump will win. He's got the military behind him. He's got the support behind him. He's got the machinery of the US. And so Elon is vulnerable. And I think when people are powerful and panicked, they do things like this. And you can see the unraveling in real time.
And Eleanor wants me to ask if you can remember what you were going to say before I interrupted you. So that's a bit like the AI prompt.
It was to point to Elon being worrying more than Grok doing this. It's abhorrent. I mean, the things it's saying here aren't funny. They are truly grotesque hate speech that is spurring on the worst corners of the internet. But that's a symptom. That's a sideshow. The problem is that this has $10 billion of investment in it because Elon Musk is behind it. I mean, imagine if you are someone who's just put $1 billion in debt to this thing. It's insanity.
And it's not over yet. Thank you for that, James. We may be catching up again at various points in the future, but it's always a pleasure to listen to you, the political editor of The New World and prolific author, James Ball. Many thanks indeed.